How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining me. My name is Justin Bruton with Biltmore Performance Golf in Miami, Florida. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the TPI-3D evaluation. We're going to explain the basics behind it, why we use it, and what we're looking for. Now this evaluation really is the heart of all the evaluations we do here at Biltmore Performance Golf. We use this along with the TPI medical evaluation, short game evaluation, equipment, and mental golf profile to really build a total picture of each player that we're analyzing. On the left, we have the robot figure, and we attain this by using an 8-sensor system. There's a sensor on the back of the spine, the back of the pelvis, the top of the forehead, both elbows, and the back of both hands, as well as the golf club, along with 27 digitized spots that give us the full body makeup, your pelvis, torso, arms, hands, and club and head. We don't use the legs because we're not looking for leg acceleration, we're looking for pelvis acceleration. So that's why you don't see the legs. On the right, we have the kinematic sequence, which is the EKG looking graph, and we'll talk about some basics on that as well. The red line being your lower body or pelvis, the green being your upper body or thorax, the blue being your arms, and the brown being the club. What we'd like to see here and what we're going to look for is this black horizontal line. Everything below it is backswing or rotation away from the target. Everything above it is downswing or rotation towards the target. The area of interest that we're really looking for is between this first black vertical line and the second black vertical line. This distinguishes the top of your swing or when the club changes direction, and the next black line is impact, when the club's actually striking the golf ball. In this area, we're looking for the lower body to accelerate and peak out first, the upper body second, followed by the arms, followed by the club. Very similar energy transfer to somebody throwing a baseball or a pitcher throwing a baseball. He's going to stride towards the mound, that's lower body acceleration, turn his chest towards home plate, that's upper body acceleration, and then he's going to release the baseball with his arm, third, that's your arm acceleration. The only difference in golf is obviously we're holding a golf club, it's connected to our hands because we're gripping it, so that becomes the fourth segment in this energy transfer. So we want to see lower body, upper body, arms, and then club in the golf swing. So as I said, I want the lower body to accelerate, peak out first. So you can see the red line reaches its summit first. That is correct. Then starts to decelerate. Good deceleration, a side note, out of all his segments. His segments accelerate and decelerate properly. That's what we're looking for. The only problem this player has is he's a little out of sequence. So you can see his green accelerates, peaks out, and decelerates, but it happens after the blue is already gone. So the arms are accelerating and peaking out before the thorax is. That's going to keep this player from transferring as much energy from his upper body to his arms as he should efficiently. So he's working a little out of sequence there. If we zoom in on his transition, or when it crosses the black horizontal line here, and what we want to see here is we want to build loads. We have a core load, a shoulder load, and a wrist load. So we distinguish those by looking at the acceleration of the segments, and we want to see the red line accelerate faster than the green line as they make their transition. That's going to show that the pelvis is rotating faster than the upper body, so it's stretching those muscles in the core and loading them. We can see as this crossing transition, really the red and green are working at the same speed, or what we call piggybacking. Now he does separate red and green here for a good core load, but that's happening too late in the swing. This is a problem. We want these to happen sequentially. Core load, shoulder load, wrist load. The shoulder load is distinguished by the green being on top of the blue. So he has a slight shoulder load here. We do have a little bit of a shoulder load, but the wrist load is really non-existent. The brown line gets on top of the blue very quickly and outraces it all the way on the downswing. So we know the club is moving faster than his arms. A good sign that this player is releasing the club early. So we're going to let the figure run on the left. As it runs, you're going to see in real time this green line is going to run along with it. Again, this is tracking energy transfer through the golf swing. One thing nice about 3D motion is we can look at you from infinite number of camera views. Wherever I want to see your swing from, I have that option to look. Another option we have is to bring up the comparison table. So if I bring up the comparison table for this golfer, you're going to see it pop up. Now we're comparing him, he's a 55-year-old golfer, we're comparing him to the Champions Tour. Down here you can see that. We also have the option of comparing to the LPGA or PGA Tour, depending on his age group or gender. The top of the swing, we have a lot of numbers here. Anything red is outside the Champions Tour mean, anything green is inside the Champions Tour mean. So we're going to look at a few. Pelvic rotation at the top, lower body rotation at the top of your swing, at the top of his swing is 62.9 degrees. Now the Champions Tour mean is 40 to 54 degrees, so he's over-rotating his lower body a little bit. Now if we look down here at thorax rotation, which is upper body rotation, we have 86.7. This is good. This is inside the green, inside the 82 to 92 range. That looks really good. Pelvic sway, 0.7 off the ball, so it's a green number. Again, good lower body stability, not a problem there. Pelvic thrust, this is how much his lower body is moving closer to the golf ball as he's taking the club back. 4.3 inches. You can see this is a red number. This is one of our glaring issues with this golfer. So you can see the range being 1 inch to 2 inches, so he's pretty far off there. He's moving his pelvis well too close to the golf ball. Now we look at impact numbers. IMP, impact position at the pelvis, 22.3, a little low. Thorax, upper body rotation, 12.9. So those two numbers are low, whereas he had over rotation on the way back. Over rotation on the way back, under rotation on the way through. Sign that this player is using his arms a little more than he should be, and we saw that in the sequence as well. His arms were peeking out before his upper body. Pelvic sway, 4.3 inches towards the target. So that means it's a green number because he's getting his weight off his back foot onto his front foot effectively and getting his weight back to his lead side. That's really good. Pelvic thrust, though, went to 5 inches from 4.3 at the top of his swing. This is why this player is really struggling with compressing the golf ball. He has a trouble getting the club low enough to ever compress the golf ball because he's standing up out of his posture. If his pelvis is moving 5 inches towards the golf ball, that means his upper body is going to react the opposite way. It's going to move away from the golf ball and stand up out of his posture, making it nearly impossible for him to stay down and compress the golf ball and really trap it. It's another reason his club is outracing his arms on the way down as well. If I'm pulling out of it, the only way I'm going to get the club anywhere near the golf ball is just to throw it at it as fast as I can. So we go back and we look at a couple good kinematic sequence, a good example. Just to show you, this is a tour professional. Again, red line's lower, green's upper, blue arm, brown club. This is what we want to see. As they go through transition, the lower body is going to peak out first. It's going to reach its summit and start to decelerate. Next, you're going to see the thorax peak out next, stabilize, then start to decelerate. Then you see the arms peak out next, right on top of that. That's going to give you the proper energy gain from each segment of the body, almost like a synchronized whipping effect. If we get into transition to show you a good transition sequence, this is what we want to see. Again, the black line, anything above it is downswing, anything below it is backswing. So we can see as he goes into the transition and goes into the downswing, the red is outracing the green. That's stretching his core muscles. Then the blue, the upper body is, or the green, I'm sorry, the upper body is outracing the blue, the arms. All this area right here with green's on top of blue, that's shoulder load. And then sequentially, right after that, you see the blue on top of brown. That is your arms outracing the club, which is creating lag. Lag is a common characteristic of all good ball strikers. You think of Sergio, even Tiger. You look on tour, you look at the guys that are good ball strikers, and you look at their swings, you're always going to see the wrist lag. They're able to set the club on the way down even more than they do on the way back. That allows them all that speed and energy transfer at impact. They're cracking the whip at the golf ball, not before the golf ball. All this information, again, allows us to pinpoint exactly where there's a problem in your golf swing. And then we combine that with the TPI medical evaluation, equipment evaluation, we figure out why there's a breakdown. If you have any questions about any of these things, feel free to contact me. You can find my website. It's right off the YouTube channel. Or if you want to look it up, it's www.theswingsequence.com. Very easy, a lot of good information on it. Look it up. If you have any questions or you want to come in and get your TPI-3D evaluation, let me know. Because this allows us to tell you how much potential energy you create in your backswing, then how much of that potential energy you transfer through your body out to the club and into the golf ball, and how much of that energy is just wasted. So you can have a great backswing and create a lot of load and a lot of energy, but if you don't effectively transfer it through your body, it's all for nothing. So I hope this helps explain a little bit about the TPI-3D evaluation and why we consider it the #1 most important evaluation we have here at Biltmore Performance Golf.